mean, I know a lot of people that grief WoW gold farmers because it's something fun to do. Like, what are we gonna do today? Let's grief some gold farmers. And that's totally cool with me. Like, I'm fine with that idea. And especially when it comes to Ragnarok. There's just way too many people who cheat and bot. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of deserving to do that to people like that. I don't know. And also, a lot of people wouldn't consider a game like Ragnarok an actual game. You freaking bastard. And it's kind of annoying. Like, yes, you play a first-person shooter, but that does not at all mean that, like, other games are not games because you don't like them, or because you can't play them. I mean, 9 times out of 10, people who complain about a game can't play them. Like, I can play Halo. I have no problem with it, but I hate the game. I hate the gameplay. I hate, like, the weapons, the story's stupid, and shit. Like, there's nothing I like about it, so why would I play a game I don't like anything about it? Come on, could I get a healer turn for frickin' Christ's sake? Everybody's turn, but Gong and Chris. Do you have any healing items on you? You do. But, I don't know. Recently someone wrote in a blog all about how basically they don't consider even like Zynga games and things like Second Life really a game, although ideally they are. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, your question is what is a game and what constitutes a game. Now, if you really want to do it outright, there's a very small requirement for what is a game. I mean, technically, Nobi Nobi Boy is a game. It's not a good game, but it's a game. There's still things to complete. Like, even like free-flow games like that are still games. It doesn't invalidate them as games. And I just don't like the idea of considering a game invalidated because it doesn't fit into a genre that you like. It's just, it's sad. And it just really, like, when people write and complain about that kind of stuff, it honestly sounds like that 12-year-old kid who's screaming into the microphone like, "You freaking bitch, you noob, you screwed up my kill," like, "Oh, you camper," or like whatever, you know, whatever insult they can think of at the very moment, you know. Those kind of people aren't really like real gamers. They don't have like a depth of field or knowledge in games. They don't have like a real enjoyment of games themselves. They just like straight competition games, and you know, in many ways, that's fine. You can enjoy that, like, but that's your deal. Don't invalidate other things because you're not good at other types of games. I don't know. Yeah, Gong, kill him. Kill that Dark Priest. Punch him to death. Punch him. But I don't know. In a way, I do take kind of a snobbish opinion about what are games and what aren't games, but I consider a very large variety of games to be games. Even ones that are kind of speculative. But there are communities, people who play it, and there are some really good games that, because no one played it, even though they were good games, kind of disappeared, or they were too hard to grip for average, like, well, casual gamers, I should say. And they kind of fall to the wayside. I don't know, I mean, I also can't understand how Madden makes money. I mean, technically by their rules, Madden is not a game. Like, a lot of people, like, state, like, rules for what I consider to be a game. And, I don't know, it's say, like, this is what I consider a game, or to have the judgment, especially when it's someone who has such a little gaming vocabulary. I think it's very strange. And also, like, the whole rant was started with gamer girls. Like, I never thought much. I think it's a social stigma that girls don't play games. I think it's one of those stupid double standard things that someone decided, like, you know, years ago, and said, like, oh, girls don't play games, that's it, end of story. Like, when I grew up, a lot of, one of my friend's little sisters, Hillary, used to play Super Mario Brothers with us. She used to play Ninja Gaiden by herself. And it's not that there aren't girl gamers, it's just they don't need, like, marketed games, like games that are specifically made, like, this is a girl, you know, a girl's game, a game for girls. Like, most girls I know who game don't like those type of games. That's just, they don't like them. They don't feel that they're honest, I guess, and they're not really what they like. Like, they release Barbie games and stuff like that, but the only people I know who play it are gay men. Like, let's be realistic here. I don't know anybody who's, like, a normal gamer or girl gamer, especially, who plays the games. Maybe when they were, like, real young, when they were, like, 6 and they had the game, they played it, but that was because there wasn't a choice. I don't know. I mean, my friend's mom bought games that they thought because they were, like, Bible games or because they were Barbie games or whatever, and honestly, we would play, me and her older brothers would play her Barbie game just to make fun of it. Because it was like, well, we're sick of Ninja Gaiden, now what do we do? Who's closest? Like, I actually know a lot of girls who played games like Lunar, and played them pretty steadily. It wasn't like it was a flash in the pan kind of thing, like, oh, yeah, like, I played a little bit of Lunar and then I stopped playing. Like, some people just have a propensity to like those type of games, and that's it. I think I'll have to have Gong take one for the team. But I don't think, like, you have to create a specific genre of games for girls. Like, I know a lot of people think, like, Zynga games and Ragnarok and stuff like that are essentially girls' games, but there's no real evidence for it. I mean, I know more guys who play bizarre Zynga games and gay guys who play Zynga games than anything else. I mean, I know more girls that play, like, PopCat or Halo or other games. Like, it's actually kind of funny because a lot of, like, in-quote, manly games, a lot more girls play than guys do. You know, Halo, and I know a bunch of girls who play Modern Warfare. And I know in some way, there's some guy out there who's like, oh yeah, girls playing Modern Warfare. That's hot. Like, games are games. People like competition. Male, female, whatever. They like competition, and that's just the way it is. So, why do we have to create, like, a specific market for gamer girls, and why do the only outspoken gamer girls always seem to end up being girls who play archetypal games? You know, like, they play Halo, or Kingdom Hearts, or, you know, like, cats and dogs, like, I don't get it. I don't know many people that are like that. Like, I play games that aren't really meant for guys, but I don't really care. Most gamer girls don't really care, from what I've seen. Like, it's not of interest for them to be like, oh my god, like, the new Barbie Horse Adventures came out, I have to play it. I think whoever decided that girls needed to have games designed for them was a moron. Like, I think by creating that stigma, you actually make it harder for girl gamers. move Diana, but not quite yet. Actually, I may just start next time she gets a turn. Try to kill that archer. Leave Gong with her or something. Maybe I'll take Lo with her, but Lo will probably get blasted by the cannon. Silver Knights. I don't know, we used to have a group of girls that used to come into my GameStop, and they would play pretty much the same games. There were a few exceptions. Like the one girl, she played Metroid like crazy. She loved like the original Metroids and the Game Boy Metroids, and I think it was because there was a strong female character that they liked. Their brothers actually wouldn't play it anymore because they're like, I don't want to play as a girl. And her crabbiness brought up a good point that there really aren't a lot of, like, female role models in games, and that is kind of half the fault of whoever decided that, you know, girls need their own games designed for them. Because, really, if you think about it, when you design some things exclusively as this idea that, like, oh, girls play Barbie games, girls play, you know, like these type of games only, you're kind of limiting your audience, and you're also really playing the stupid card on your audience. Like, well, since you're too stupid to play these type of games, we built games specifically for you. I don't know, it's kind of patronizing, and it's hard to develop, like, good strong female characters in games. I mean, Lunar had a few good strong female characters that weren't just like these kind of helpless damsel in distress kind of girls, which was, I don't know, there's some sort of stigma problem with that. Like, somehow somebody missed the sexual revolution and still thinks that there's all these damsels in distress. Frankly, as a man, I don't really want a damsel in distress. Mostly because that means that they're freaking helpless. But I think when games get designed with the idea that only men are going to play it, is when you start getting those kind of things, like princess in danger, no helpful female role models. Like, even for a guy playing games, you think you want at least like a decent female. So, I mean, if we thought the only females were women that were completely incapable of defending themselves, we'd probably be pretty far back. You know, I don't know. I just think that, like, creating this kind of, like, vapid, low-brained, like, low personal quality woman, you're creating this kind of, like, want for stupidity. Like, my girlfriend is not stupid. Delirious is very smart, and I appreciate that about her, and she has a good personality. But, like, Princess Peach is the freaking dumbest girl in the world. Like, ha ha ha, I wear pink, and I can't help but be captured constantly. Like, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that, like, as strange as it sounds, a female, like, character in a game, I think is better if you put a more realistic, like, impression of, like, an actual human being instead of, like, some one-dimensional cardboard cutout character. It might actually make the guys who play the game appreciate the character more. Unfortunately, there's a lot of those creepy, like, Xenosaga fans that like girls that are like that robot, like, or Chobits, like, I am completely helpless, and I have no real thoughts. Like, I can't understand that. Like, how are you, like, after this conflict and you rescue the girl, what the hell are you going to talk about? Like, how the hell are you going to live, like, after? Like, it's by the grace of God that she can breathe, let alone, like, why are you trying so hard to save someone that's has no real saving qualities? Maybe she has, like, one ability, like, she's the key to the universe. That's, like, kind of sad. And, like, if a girl plays that game, I mean, what does she have to look forward to? I mean, frankly, it's kind of awkward. And I will say that people, like, kind of define I guess, a sexual role model off of the characters in games and movies. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess probably because I grew up in the era of, like, Aliens and Terminator, where there was a lot of, like, real strong female leads, where they weren't, like, helpless. I mean, come on now, like, Alien, her being, like, the sole survivor, not as a spoiler, but those kind of things, like, seriously. Like, I don't know, I guess when you're reflecting an actual person, it's much more attractive to someone than it is if you have some, like, girl by, you know, that can't even hold a conversation. Just because she has some special ability, that must mean that she's, like, the heroine of it. Like, in games like Growlancer and stuff, they kind of give you, like, a full fleshing out of all the characters, and, like, what is your love interest, and give you a little more decision on what you're doing. But in, like, older games, they seem to only have, like, girl A or, like, girl type B, and that's, like, it. And even, like, female-led games were actually kind of insulting for a lot of female gamers. It was very much like, do you really expect that to be realistic? Do you really? I don't know. I've gone way off on a rant on it. I don't know. I also think it's low-browing women. Like, I don't know. My mom was a strong woman. Well, is. She's not dead, but I just can't. This is probably fire, right? No. I just can't fathom why you would intentionally create, like, kind of vapid, stupid characters. Like, I don't think anybody really wants that. Ironic that I'm talking about this and trying to find these items. Alright, well, you know what? I'm gonna look this up, and then I'll return in the next episode of Let's Play Shining Force with me, Mark Dies. See you later.